December 1941, just hours after the attack on Pearl Harbor, Japanese forces invaded the Philippines. Outnumbered and under-equipped, Filipino and American troops fought fiercely, especially on the Bataan Peninsula. Their eventual surrender led to the Bataan Death March, where thousands perished in one of World War II's darkest events. But amidst the suffering, a promise was made. General Douglas MacArthur's famous words, "I shall return." True to his word, MacArthur led the liberation of the Philippines in 1944 to 45, cementing a military bond that would shape the nation's future. Today, as global power struggles intensify, the question remains, does the Philippines still need the United States? The answer lies in history.
To proclaim the independence of the Philippines as a separate and self-governing nation.
After gaining independence in 1946, the Philippines remained deeply connected to the U.S. through military alliances. During the Cold War, American bases at Subic Bay and Clark Air Base played a critical role in containing Soviet and Chinese influence in the region. Even after the base's closure in the 1990s, the Philippines continued to rely on U.S. support under the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty. In 2014, growing tensions in the South China Sea led to the signing of the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA, allowing the U.S. to rotate troops in key Philippine bases, reinforcing the alliance. Geopolitically, the Philippines occupies one of the most strategic locations in the world. Sitting at the crossroads of the South China Sea and the Pacific, it serves as a frontline state in the competition between major powers. China's aggressive territorial claims and militarization of the South China Sea pose a direct threat to Philippine sovereignty. Without strong allies, the country risks being overwhelmed by a much larger and more assertive neighbor. The U.S., with its military presence and commitment to regional stability, remains the Philippines' most reliable security partner. Beyond defense, the Philippines also benefits from deep economic ties with the U.S. American companies are among the top investors in the country, contributing to industries like technology, manufacturing, and business process outsourcing, BPO. The U.S. remains a major trade partner, and millions of Filipinos rely on remittances from relatives working in America. Military aid from the U.S., including modern weapons, training, and intelligence sharing, helps strengthen the armed forces of the Philippines, AFP, in ways that few other partners can provide. Ultimately, the Philippines' partnership with the United States is about more than just military cooperation. It is about securing its future. In a world where smaller nations risk becoming pawns in the rivalry between superpowers, maintaining a strong alliance with the U.S. gives the Philippines the leverage it needs to navigate modern geopolitics. The question is no longer whether the Philippines needs the U.S., but how it can maximize this relationship for national security, economic growth, and regional stability. If the Philippines is attacked, the U.S. will come to its defense. That's the essence of the MDT, a Filipino defense analyst explains. His American counterpart nods, adding, "And if the U.S. is attacked in the Pacific, the Philippines is expected to do the same." It's a two-way commitment. Signed in 1951, the MDT has stood as the foundation of the U.S. Philippines alliance for over 7 decades. Amid rising tensions in the South China Sea, a reporter asks a top U.S. official, would the U.S. really go to war for the Philippines? Without hesitation, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin replies, "Absolutely."
The Mutual Defense Treaty applies to armed attacks on either of our armed forces, aircraft, or public vessels, including our Coast Guards, anywhere in the South China Sea.
An armed attack on Philippine forces in the South China Sea triggers our obligations under the MDT. These reassurances serve as a warning to any external aggressor considering hostile actions against the Philippines.
This is an important country, not only to me, but to people in both parties back in the United States.
At a bustling military base, Filipino and American troops prepare for Balikatan 2023, the largest ever joint exercise. A U.S. Marine turns to his Filipino counterpart and jokes, "Hope you're ready. This isn't just another exercise. It's about showing we can stand together when it matters." The Filipino soldier smirks. "I was born ready, but let's see if you can handle our jungle warfare." This camaraderie is not just for show. With over 17,600 troops participating in Balikatan 2023, including advanced missile systems and amphibious assault drills, these exercises enhance combat readiness. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA, has increased U.S. access to key Philippine military bases, allowing faster responses to regional threats. A Philippine general explains, "EDCA isn't about giving up sovereignty. It's about being prepared. If conflict breaks out, we need strong allies ready to act." Mindanao, 2017. Gunfire echoes through the war-torn city of Marawi as Philippine troops battle ISIS-linked militants. A Filipino officer receives an urgent radio call. Intel confirms hostiles on the Eastern Bloc. Can you verify? A U.S. advisor responds, "We have drones overhead. Stand by for live feed." Within moments, the enemy's position is confirmed, allowing Philippine forces to launch a decisive strike. The Marawi siege proved the effectiveness of U.S. Philippine counter-terrorism cooperation. Without their intelligence and drones, the battle would have been longer and bloodier, a Filipino soldier later admits. Even today, U.S. training programs continue to strengthen Philippine forces in combating groups like Abu Sayyaf. As tensions rise in the Indo-Pacific, a young Filipino officer asks his superior, "Do we really need the U.S.?" The commander takes a deep breath and responds, "Look at history. Look at the threats we face. The question isn't whether we need the U.S., it's how we make this alliance work best for us." In 2024, the United States and the Philippines engaged in substantial trade activities, with U.S. goods exports to the Philippines totaling $9.3 billion, marking a slight increase of 0.4% from the previous year. Conversely, U.S. goods imports from the Philippines amounted to $14.2 billion, reflecting a 6.9% rise compared to 2023. As of 2024, the total inward FDI stock in the Philippines stood at $119 billion, with a significant portion originating from the United States. These investments have been pivotal in driving economic growth and job creation across various sectors. The business process outsourcing, BPO industry, heavily influenced by U.S. clients, continues to be a major contributor to the Philippine economy. In 2024, the BPO sector employed approximately 1.82 million full-time workers, generating $38 billion in export revenue. Projections indicate that by 2028, the industry aims to reach $59 billion in revenue and employ 2.5 million individuals. The United States has consistently provided substantial humanitarian aid to the Philippines, particularly in the aftermath of natural disasters. For instance, following Typhoon Haiyan in 2013, the U.S. contributed significant resources towards relief and recovery efforts, underscoring its commitment to the Philippines. The United States Agency for International Development has been instrumental in implementing programs aimed at improving healthcare, education, and governance in the Philippines. These initiatives have played a crucial role in fostering long-term development and enhancing the quality of life for many Filipinos. In November 2024, the United States and the Philippines signed the General Security of Military Information Agreement, enhancing intelligence sharing between the two nations. This agreement highlighted the U.S. commitment to supporting Philippine sovereignty in the West Philippine Sea, The U.S. Navy continues to conduct freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea to challenge unlawful maritime claims. These operations serve as a deterrent against further Chinese encroachment. The United States plays a pivotal role in promoting a free and open Indo-Pacific through strategic partnerships and defense agreements. In November 2024, the U.S. and the Philippines finalized the GSOMIA, facilitating enhanced intelligence sharing and bolstering regional security. The Philippines' geographical location makes it a crucial ally in regional security frameworks, serving as a frontline state against potential coercive actions in the South China Sea. The bond between the Philippines and the United States is strengthened by deep-rooted cultural and familial ties. In 2024, approximately 4.1 million Filipino Americans resided in the United States, accounting for 17% of the nation's Asian American population. The extensive Filipino diaspora in the U.S. fosters strong cultural and personal bonds, influencing governance, education, and cultural exchanges between the two nations.
This is a project that's a labor of love. It started really with the community's vision of wanting more visibility, wanting to see their history and their culture and their heritage reflected back at them in our public spaces.
The Philippines and the U.S. must strengthen deterrence as China escalates its maritime assertiveness in the South China Sea. The Expanded Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA, has granted the U.S. more access to Philippine bases than during the Cold War, reinforcing deterrence in the first island chain. The June 2024 Second Thomas Shoal incident and the deployment of Typhoon missile systems in the Philippines have intensified Beijing's pressure, proving that a firm military posture is necessary to counter China's coercion. The U.S. now enjoys unprecedented operational access in the Indo-Pacific, with the Philippines serving as a forward-deployed hub for regional security. This partnership boosts Manila's credibility as a key U.S. ally, strengthening its regional influence while securing economic and defense support. Washington's deeper engagement with ASEAN, backed by Manila's diplomatic initiatives, helps prevent perceptions of U.S. unilateralism and reinforces the alliance's legitimacy. China has systematically undermined Philippine sovereignty through gray zone tactics, using maritime militias and economic leverage. The recent crackdown on Philippine offshore gaming operators, POGOs, has exposed Beijing's covert influence, pushing Manila toward a more assertive stance. Strengthening joint intelligence sharing and counter-hybrid warfare strategies between U.S. and Philippine forces will be crucial in neutralizing Chinese subversive operations. Beyond bilateral efforts, the U.S. and the Philippines must integrate more deeply into regional security frameworks. Expanding joint patrols with Japan and Australia, increasing military exercises, and aligning responses to Chinese provocations will reinforce deterrence. Unpredictability in Manila's countermeasures will challenge Beijing's strategy and prevent further aggression. China aims to weaken U.S. military effectiveness in the Indo-Pacific, limiting Washington's ability to respond swiftly to a Taiwan contingency. Failure to establish a robust and proactive deterrence mechanism will embolden Beijing to further its territorial ambitions at the expense of Philippine sovereignty. The U.S. Philippine Alliance must embrace necessary, though costly, measures to ensure regional stability, including frequent joint drills, economic resilience strategies, and reinforced military deployments. With the return of the Trump administration, new expectations arise for a more transactional yet assertive foreign policy. The alliance must evolve into a proactive, high-tempo partnership where deterrence and strategic coordination take precedence. Both nations must accept the realities of long-term competition with China, ensuring that Manila remains an indispensable partner in securing a free and open Indo-Pacific. The multifaceted relationship between the Philippines and the United States encompasses strategic defense collaborations, robust economic partnerships, and profound cultural ties. This enduring alliance not only strengthens the Philippines' national interests, but also contributes significantly to regional stability in the Indo-Pacific. Thank you for tuning in to our channel. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis of global issues.